Hello Karma, this is your video on how to operate your lightsaber. So it's going to come in this box. I'll open it up for you. I haven't messed with it in a while, so hopefully I remember everything. But if I miss anything, it'll be in the description of the video, and you can just reference that whenever you need assistance, because I'll be putting links on how to customize your CrystalFocus, firmware updates, quick control guide, basically everything you need, and just general things to keep in mind to keep this thing safe. So the description of the video is going to be your best friend, and this video that I'm making right now will be a good visual guide for it. So this is your lightsaber here. I tried my best to make it as useful as possible and easy to use. I did a few chassis modifications, a couple button modifications to make it easier to press without having to think too much about how you put the chassis in. It'll come with this battery. There you go. I don't know if it's fully charged. I had fully charged it, but it might have drained a little bit. We'll test it out. I'll show you how you can check the charge. I think I gave you links on the battery charger as well as the blade. I do recommend the one from SaberBay because those ones fit pretty much any lightsaber really well. But if you do happen to get a blade that's a little bit thicker, I will tell you how best to put it in or how to adjust it. So it'll also come with this one tool. This will help you with the blade retention. There we go. You can just remove the blade plug by loosening that a little bit, sliding it out. Then you've got the NeoPixel connector. So I'll show you how to turn this on. You can either unscrew the complete bottom section here or just this part. I think I recommend just taking off the booster section instead of just the end cap. I'll show you the end cap though. There you go. You can see the speaker here. Nothing really exciting. The easiest way I've found is just to unscrew the entire pommel and booster section. So you just unscrew it there. Then you take it off. As you can see, I have sanded down this chassis. I spent a lot of time sanding it down so that it fits properly, because the issue I had before is when you put this in and screwed this part in, it would have just enough friction, so when it got to a certain point, it would turn the chassis inside as well and make it so the buttons turned and you couldn't press it. So I fixed that by sanding it down a bunch. Took a long time, but I got it to a point where no matter how tight you tighten this, it shouldn't screw up the buttons at all. So you can tighten it as much as you want, and then there you go, easy. So that was the biggest modification that I made to make this a lot easier to handle. So you unscrew it, take it out, and you can see the NeoPixel connector, the buttons, the board. This is the board that doesn't have the micro USB on it, but you don't need it at all because you have the Bluetooth. And the Bluetooth module, I don't have a way to show it off to you in this video right now because I need a second phone for it. But essentially the thing you want to keep in mind is use the CrystalFX app and also the crystalfocus.net website. I'll have them linked in the description. Those are going to be how you can update the firmware, adjust things on the computer. You can do all of the customization on the SD card, but the micro USB or the Bluetooth is going to be helpful if you don't want to, I don't know, plug it into your computer, but you can do it all via the Bluetooth module, which is great. So the Bluetooth will ask you for a password. Sometimes it might not detect the Bluetooth board, so I also recommend downloading the ForceSync app. There's two Bluetooth apps. There's the ForceSync and then there's CrystalFX. I've found that ForceSync detects it better, so if you go to ForceSync, it'll detect the board, it'll ask you for a code, it'll be 6 zeros, so 0000000, and then it'll detect the board, won't ask again. And then just detach it from the ForceSync app, go to CrystalFX, and then it should detect the board. It'll come up as FSC BT909, and that's how you know that this that your lightsaber is detected. Then you connect, and again, put in the password of 6 zeros. Once you do that on both apps, it won't ask again on your phone. It asks it once per device. So that should be about it. You can adjust anything you want on the Bluetooth. I highly recommend looking it up and going to the crystalfocus.net website to figure that out. So to get this started, you put in the negative towards the speaker, and the positive is towards the NeoPixel connector. And then you have the kill switch. There you go. I have it set up for, this is the idle animation. You can switch through the animations by pressing the auxiliary button, and then you have different options here. This is the midi-chlorian counter. Oh, right. I have it set up so it's this way. And you have all of these. And you can adjust every single one of these in the config file or in the SD card. So all of that is configurable to however you like. CrystalFocus is pretty easy to adjust, so just head to the manual and you'll figure it out. This is also super useful if you want to edit blade styles, edit config settings, etc. It gives you a bunch of information. So to get it started, you just put it in, you line up the button channel with the buttons here. You just slide it in. I like not sliding it in all the way, just so it's a little bit nicer for blade detection. So then you put that in. And there you go. The chassis has been detected. It's switched to a working font. Press the button, and it's on. I think I have the volume somewhere around 60 to 70% volume. So this is your on and off button. You just hold it for like, I don't know, 0.25 seconds to turn it off. You just tap it to turn it on, I believe. Like a full press to turn it on, and then hold it for like 0.25 seconds to turn it off. When it's on, this is your auxiliary button. Blaster deflect, lock up. You have your clashes, of course. There you go. You can swap fonts or switch them by, I think when it's off, you can hold the activation button and then you can clash, and it'll go forward. Full press, come on. Sometimes if it glitches out like it might have just done, you can just turn the lightsaber off and on again. There you go. Sometimes the lightsaber likes to glitch out if you mess with it a little bit oddly. There you go. It's green now. Purple. Ooh. Yeah, this control is a bit weird. It likes to glitch out the lightsaber. I think it's a relatively new control, so you can always turn that off if you want or just never use it. So the easiest way to swap fonts without having it glitch out or anything would be just to do the normal stuff, because that one was a special control. The normal thing is just hold down the auxiliary button.
Sound bank selection.
And you're in the sound bank selection. So you can go forward with the activation, or that's backwards. You can go backwards with the activation. You can go forwards with the auxiliary.
Green, purple, red, white.
And then you choose it by holding the activation. There you go. And then you can go back to the sound font selection. And you can switch, you can skip forward by pressing both auxiliary and activation at the same time. You can skip forward by 5 fonts. And then again, you choose it. There you go. So then I'll just show you the blade real quick. So if you get a blade that is a bit too thick, you will want to keep this in mind. You put in the blade and then you make sure when you put in a bit of pressure, you screw it in clockwise and then make the connection, because if it's too tight and you screw it counterclockwise, it could unscrew the emitter, which might tangle up the wires and screw that up. So, but if you get the one from Saber, you shouldn't have any issue with that. It should just slide right in. But that's just a nice safety feature to keep in mind, is make sure if there's ever a tight fit, to screw it in clockwise, and if you pull it out, screw it in counterclockwise, because the friction would unscrew it if you go the opposite way. So here you can see the blade with the localized effects, clash. All of this is adjustable in the configs. You can color change by pressing the auxiliary and activation at the same time. It goes into spectrum mode, and then you can choose the colors that you want. So I'll just go back to blue. And then you can also go into spectrum mode, hold down auxiliary, I think. You go into blade profiles, and then it goes into the different animations that you have set up, or that I set up for you. Different types of animations, flickering, energy effects. So all of this is just stuff you want to keep in mind. There you go. And I think that's pretty much everything you need to remember about this lightsaber. This is the... Oh! I set up gesture controls. So, as you can see, it has gesture controls. You can sort of twist it on, twist it off, and I think there's a little bit of a swing on too, but you can adjust all of those in the settings. I set that up because it's something I wanted to mess with in my previous builds, and it was pretty fun. You can adjust the parameters to your liking. It's just P on, P off, wag on, wag off. That's what the, and I think there's a twist thing, but that's the parameter in the config file. So you can look in there for that if you want to adjust the sensitivity of it. Definitely reference the manual before changing anything, so you know what CrystalFocus.net also tells you. But pretty much that's everything you should keep in mind. I don't think there's anything else. If there is, I'll let you know, and I'll message you, or you can ask me questions. If you have any questions, just feel free to send me a message on Instagram, or you can email me if you want. But since we've been talking over Instagram, you can just send me a message there. And then, of course, reference the description of the video. So that should be all. Hope you like the lightsaber. I'm very happy with how it came out, because this is a lot easier to work with than some of the other ones that I've done. There you go. Because it's very easy to put in and out of the lightsaber. So, hope you enjoy it. I had a lot of fun building this, and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. So, enjoy, and may the Force be with you.